Hello, my name is Vanessa Davis. I am here to present curriculum presentation today for CE 520. So I chose the thematic curriculum. A reason to why I chose this curriculum is to identify the underlying effects of what can be done intuitively to help students not only understand math but love it. Why I chose this topic was solely based upon the prior experiences in the classroom and providing input and hearing input from other math teachers who teaches under the same scope of learning as I do. Sharing these commonalities has helped my understanding of this curriculum and what it takes to implement it within the process of learning and teaching. So the thematic curriculum, as to what I understand it to be, is pretty much what the kids of today's world like to have an understanding of. They like to be able to compare and correlate things they're doing in class with the outside real world. So if there's no purpose or meaning behind why they may work out a math problem, they tend to lose the motivation or lack of interest and wanting to even dig deeper or even use their critical thinking skills to even solve these problems. So I think implementing this curriculum may help those who are extravagant learners. All right, so here are some of the steps in the process that I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about the process analysis within the context of this curriculum, the content and standards analysis, the task analysis, the goals, outcome, and objectives that may be set throughout this curriculum, the content and unit development that is used, and the instructional strategies that are successfully used to implement this curriculum within the school setting. So first up is process analysis. So the word process, of course, means to function or do something in some type of order. So of course, with the thematic curriculum, it allows the instructor to set a theme. So that would be the first process in actually implementing this curriculum. The instructor or educator must set a theme that they want to talk about or instruct within the context of their lesson. So the instructor can use this theme and connect it to other subject areas or real life events for further clarification. Making this connection allows for creative exploration, and because this requires all teachers within the entire grade level to collaborate and create instruction tailored to just the students, a strong existence of discipline and restructuring of teacher relationship is necessary for this method to be fully implemented. So pretty much collaboration with other teachers within that particular grade level or within the school itself or even within the district. So that collaboration helps to bring forth the existence of this curriculum. If you are in a pod setting such as my school, where we have all such subject areas in one location for a group of students, and these group of students rotate within this particular area. These teachers within this particular pod could all get together, collaborate about a theme, and use that theme throughout each subject area, so therefore the students don't lose interest just in one class setting with it. Okay, so the next area of interest that we're going to talk about is content standard analysis. So, standards are set in place to maintain the order and necessary for complying with learning needs and gaps. So, working in a school system, you of course want to have some type of standards set in place so that way everybody has the same ethics, morals, and goals, and that way everybody kind of stays aligned with the same task and nobody deviates away and try to set up their own conscious of what they think should be implemented within the classroom setting. Now, the thematic curriculum assists teachers in implementing instructional strategies that controls the learning environment. So, yes, of course, you'll have instructional strategies that you'll be able to implement on your own and make those choices based off your students' needs. But as far as the standards, they should strictly come from one area of instruction, so therefore everyone is on the same task and, of course, teaching the same type of material. That would be said that if you have math teachers wanting to feel like that the number system is more important, say, than the probability and statistics area, you would have an issue where you would have teachers wanting to teach one subject content or focus on one area a little bit more than they do the others. And it causes a learning gap for students, because when the student moves on to the next grade level, if they don't have the content needed to move to that grade level, that could be an issue. So abiding by those standards is very important and vital to the instructional environment. Also, I wanted to mention that teachers are also able to understand how to encourage students to use and develop a deep understanding of content and connections between the contents. So here, I wanted to take a minute and to mention a quote from Walt Disney. And it says, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." Well, our next subject area would be task analysis. And of course, in order to complete a task, we can always talk about it, but in order for that task to get done, we must begin doing it. So, task analysis starts with helping to introduce better and new ways of learning, and that are better equipment for the mindset of those learners. Also, each lesson will need to be planned and well thought out as to they are structured to reach all possible learners. That is also key. Being sure that you create a curriculum that reaches out to not only one set of students. There are different students who have different learning styles that they prefer to learn within, and you need to be able to match your instruction to their learning needs. So creating that task analysis will, of course, help build those visuals for you. Um, these learners may include visuals who learn with illustrations, auditory who learn with sound and reinforcement, kinetics who learns with hands-on activities, and reading and writing learners. Knowing the status of your students will help in creating a profile that can be used when giving formative and summative assessments. So, setting up the your lessons and your atmosphere within the classroom setting to be tailored to those students. You can also find ways of providing and creating your formative and summative assessments for measuring their needs as well. So this task analysis, of course, is very important and vital to your instruction, your daily instruction within your classroom setting. All right, so our next area is talking about the goals, the outcomes, and objectives. So, of course, we must set goals. Within those goals, we need to prepare ourselves for the outcomes and, of course, set the objectives so that way we'll know what standards are needed to meet those particular goals. So, for our goals, our main purpose for instruction is to tailor the lessons and its content to students engaging in real life situations, but applying it within the scope of the lesson. This is said to help increase students' performance in hopes that they will gain a real understanding of core content areas and making them more disciplined and responsible young adults. So, of course, our main goal is not only to teach these young individuals, but also make them more responsible adults who can also go out and use their real critical thinking skills to solve real world problems. So, this is why we want to implement this curriculum using these real world phases to help them see how real life situations are applied within the scope of their lesson. So, therefore, maybe they can take that into the real world and be able to use it effectively. The outcomes we predict would be proper use of the thematic curriculum allows an educator to draw attention to certain content and skills, all while motivating the students to be more effective in decision making. That is our number one game. We want to be able to help these students to be more effective in decision making, being able to problem solve in this new world of technology. Technology, Google is there, but you still need to be able to problem solve and knowing how to effectively use Google. Sometimes just asking Google a question maybe not be enough. Being that scholar reader or knowing how to look between the lines or look within the scope of certain things to find out what you need to find. And these students of today's world are not typically looking in that sector. So hopefully this curriculum could, of course, show them the right way of doing certain things. So also with our outcomes, we have schoolwork that students have typically dreaded in the past now becomes exciting to learn. So you want those students to now ask for homework, ask for extra work, love the extra incentives that are given when bonus questions populate, or even just an assignment itself. Just having a student being excited about an assignment is everything for any educator. The objectives that we want to meet, of course, is the ultimate mission is to get students to see the connection between their levels of engagement and noting prior knowledge skills. Prior knowledge skills, of course, with math is very important. Once again, if I didn't mention before, I am connecting this thematic curriculum to math. Okay, so a lot of this is going to be drawn towards math. And in math is a foundational subject, and prior knowledge skills are important and moving forward to any new skills or any new connections that you may want to learn within the levels of math. Essentially, using the thematic learning process should be a fun and exciting experience for both the educators and students. So, of course, if your educator is excited, you want the students to also be excited as well. So it is important that both the educator and the students still create that atmosphere for both. The thematic teaching is based on the idea that kids learn best through holistic real life experiences, and they do. Um, when you're looking at math, a lot of students don't see that math is just not numbers. Okay, those numbers make bigger connections when using it in the real world. Um, so math is everywhere, but it's not just in counting your money or counting your change bag, but um, logistically and analytically, you see it everywhere. Okay, no matter what job field you're in, you are going to need to know some basic math functions. All right, next up is content and unit development. The standards that I want to present are not only to help the students, but to recognize the central importance of leadership, the set tone for academic importance, but in a way that students feel comfortable to express themselves, but thorough through the subject and content they are studying. Also with this, many educators are afraid at times to implement changes due to the sight of rejection. So within the context and unit development, you want to be sure that you are willing to implement things that even you may be afraid to touch on, or just ask those, presentable questions to other leaders who are in higher authoritative positions within your department that may be able to help scale back some of that fear um, and reduce the site of rejection. Very important for your educators to be able to feel that they do have a voice in this curriculum. Also, if teachers continue to respect their profession as well as feel value, they can help assist the students in fulfilling their true potential, which is very important. Instructional strategies, just a couple of that I would use. I will use, of course, many more, but these are just some of the basics. Technology, tangible and intangible setup, where these will be your devices such as computers or tablets or whatnot, and then your software programs or any apps that you may use to fulfill your technology needs. Differentiation would also be back to that tailoring your instruction to meet the individual needs and different learning styles. Collaborative learning, being able to collaborate with the learning process. This would be small groups or just any type of projects, or being able to do that one-on-one, being able to just have the students to speak back to you from their peer perspectives. Project-based, being able to explore that theme over the context of different subjects. And inquiry-based learning, which would be pretty much asking questions, student discussion, and critical thinking, having those students to tell you what they think, feel, or need from that particular subject area. And in conclusion, this curriculum can be most effective in all grade levels, but needs to be heavily focused in middle school from my perspective. I am certified for 6 through 12. And of course, high schoolers, they kind of know where they are, where they need to be, and what they need to meet. So I don't necessarily see it being a big facet in high school, but middle school, most definitely, this is where your students tend to get lost and they tend to have lack of motivation for certain subject areas and need that additional push. Some already know where they want to go, some don't. But for the ones who don't, this is where this curriculum will come in and kind of help boost that morale. Why I do feel this way? Well, when students are aware of what core subjects are pertinent for certain jobs, they tend to have a bigger understanding of where their strengths and weaknesses may be in certain areas. So if you want to be in a certain job field, or want to be able to go to school or college or whatever from high school, and just from school itself, they'll have a better perspective on what they need with this curriculum. Okay, they'll know where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and what they can probably even work on to maybe even strengthen to be able to be successful in that particular career field. Um, this way, they have a stronger motivation to do well in areas they know they will be effective in their career choice. I have learned that the choice in curriculum makes all the difference in the instruction and planning. Team collaboration and continuing education for instructors is vital in completing tasks within any school system. So, if you know that you're not a person that likes to collaborate, well, this is the curriculum that will make you collaborate. So this will be the end, and I do thank you for watching and tuning in to the thematic curriculum. So hopefully this curriculum has not only taught me a lot, but will help me to implement moving forward in other ventures. Being that I am on the curriculum board, maybe this is something that I can now implement within my school setting. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.